Welcome to Life's Hidden Curriculum and this installment of In Case You Missed It. I'm your host, Quan King, and today I want to focus on a presentation from the Philadelphia College Prep Roundtable that was held on June 17, 2025, and was delivered by Dr. Kate Shaw, the Executive Director for the Pennsylvania State Board of Higher Education. This presentation highlighted three goals of their current strategic plan. The first goal is to increase post-secondary credential attainment. Now, what that means in short is that they want to equip more young people with high-quality post-secondary credentials and reduce current attainment disparities, meaning the gap in between people who do graduate and those that don't. Pennsylvania's current associate and bachelor's degree attainment rates are below the national average at 46%. There are only 11 counties in the entire state of Pennsylvania that have an attainment rate above the national average. So to put that in perspective, Pennsylvania has about 67 counties, which means only roughly 16% of Pennsylvanians have an associate's degree or higher. Quick facts. According to statistical analysis, which pulls information from the U.S. Census, only 37.4% of Pennsylvanians aged 25 years or older, so we're talking post-college, have a post-secondary degree. Women are edging out men in attaining post-secondary degrees, which has been a trend that's been happening for a while now. Median annual earnings with a high school diploma in PA, that'll get you about $30,200. Now, keep in mind, $30,200, that's roughly a part-time job. But if you get a bachelor's, that's up to $50,700, so roughly about $51,000. And if you have a graduate's degree, we're looking at $67,300. Not bad. But according to MIT's living wage calculator, $30,200, so again, if you only have a high school diploma, what you stand to make on average only limits your career paths. We're talking healthcare support, food prep and serving related jobs, building and grounds cleaning and maintenance services, and personal care and other related services. And that's all ranging anywhere from between the lowest being $31,550, and that's for your food prep, and your highest being building and grounds cleaning and maintenance, which is getting you about $37,500. So keep in mind, if you're only planning on just going to high school, your option is going to be very limited. If we're looking at educational attainment by the metro areas in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia is ranked higher than national average and state average at 35.5% of the population, again, over 25, having at least a bachelor's degree. However, if we just looked at Philadelphia County and not the metro area, which includes Camden and Wilmington, well, that's a different story, where Philadelphia only has 26.3% of adults age 25 and older with a bachelor's degree or higher, which is below the state average of 29.3 and the national average of 30.3. Conversely, Philadelphia has the highest percentage of those over 25 with no high school diploma at 17.4%. So let's get back to the presentation. It highlights a significant drop in enrollment across all post-secondary sectors and a projected decline in high school graduates by 12% in 2037. Still, there are over 1 million Pennsylvanians with some college but no degree, meaning in short that they took some classes but they didn't finish. So the second goal the state board wants to ensure is affordability to acquire post-secondary credentials. This is defined by considering factors like debt levels, tuition, and financial aid. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania ranks 49th, let me repeat, 49th out of 50 for college affordability with an average student debt of $40,000. So remember how if you only had a high school diploma, you weren't really making more than a part-time job? Well, imagine you're a recent college grad from a PA school like Villanova. No shade to Villanova, by the way. And you're looking at a $40,000 debt upon graduation. And that's probably with financial aid. Between 2017 and 2022, the percentage of high school graduates going to college dropped by about 7%. This trend is backed by other national data, which revealed that 38% of high school graduates who didn't pursue a college degree cited the cost and fear of debt as a major reason. Let's get back into some of those quick facts. From the Edge Research and HCM Strategists comes their 2022 report, which included 11 focus groups, all high school graduates between 18 and 30 years old. Again, that post-high school age group who decided not to go to college or dropped out when they got there. This group concluded that while affordability matters, return on investment matters more. As mentioned, 38% surveyed said college was too expensive and they didn't want the debt. 27% said college was too stressful and put way too much pressure. 26% said it was more important to enter the workforce and make money immediately. 25% were uncertain about their future altogether. Meanwhile, 62% were comfortable taking on debt if it guaranteed a job after graduation. Doesn't that sound familiar? Also, not so fun fact, the cost of attending a 4-year college full-time has increased 180%. 180% since 1980, meaning the cost of college has nearly doubled in a lifetime. All this illustrates the cost of education is not just a financial burden, nor is it the only concern. Nonetheless, it is a barrier that is preventing many from starting college or finishing once they get there. Back in the day, going to college was a safe bet. Now, going to college could just be debt. The last goal mentioned supporting the workforce development needs of the Commonwealth. And what we're talking about here is the credential gap, providing the post-secondary credentials and skills needed to fill current and future jobs. According to the Post-Secondary Credential Workforce Gap Analysis Report in 2023, Pennsylvania had a credential gap of 61,000, meaning that there were over 60,000 jobs that required a specific credential or degree and not enough people who graduated from college in the state were qualified. This gap is projected to get much worse, potentially growing to 218,000 by 2032, driven by a shrinking workforce. Remember how we talked about people not graduating, and projected job growth. The biggest areas of unmet demand are in managerial, business, healthcare, and professional office jobs. The thing you really have to understand is that while the job market is competitive, there are specific high-demand fields where qualified individuals are in short supply. This shows that the right degree or credential can still open doors to a secure and in-demand career, but it is going to require some level of post-secondary experience and certification. Now, despite all this doom and gloom and bleak outlook of information, I think the one thing that still and should always be understood is that before you even consider if college is right for you, identify what your passion is. If you can determine what you're passionate about, you can pattern your steps accordingly and determine for yourself if college is even necessary and at what cost. Now, my opinion that you didn't ask for is that too many young people have assumed that college is a requirement in order to be successful. Instead of identifying what they're passionate about and what they want to do with their life, they get preoccupied with the money and the lifestyles that they want to live. How much money do I stand to make? If I get this job, I'll have this kind of salary, and then all my problems will be solved, and I can do what I want. And that's not necessarily the case. And in far too many situations, we're finding that when you have this mindset, what you're actually developing is an entitlement. That is to believe that just because I do this thing, then this desired outcome will take place. And that's not the case. Quite frankly, it probably has never actually been the case at all. There are a lot of different factors that determine and dictate outcomes like success. Trust me, there are a lot of individuals who have college degrees who are doing something completely unrelated to their field of study. The goal should be to figure it out before you go to college so that your time and money are well spent. This has been another installment of In Case You Missed It, brought to you by Life's Hidden Curriculum Podcast. I'm still Quan King, and until next time.